When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's group therapy on 99.7 DJX.
So Jenny says, hey, Ben and Kelly, I had the strangest request. Wanted to run it by the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
My son asked if one of his classmates in the 4th grade could spend the night this coming weekend.
Sure.
I said, sure. Just have the kid's mom call me. I'll set it up. When the mom called, she and her son could stay on one condition, she said, that she get to stay over too.
Huh?
She said she gets too nervous letting her son sleep away from the house and that she would just feel better if she could just be over there too. She said if we weren't comfortable with that, then she could just pick her son up at 8 p.m. before bedtime. I have never heard of such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I clearly don't want this woman I don't know sleeping in my guest room, but my son really wants her son to stay, so I'm considering it. What do you guys think? Have you ever heard of this? Thanks so much.
Okay.
I can say I have not.
I have not either.
I have not. And I'll tell you, when they're doing fourth grade, I was going to say if it was 4 years old, that'd be different. 4th grade. When they're really young and they're kind of doing their first couple sleepovers, yeah, sometimes you get the call from the mom saying, yeah, they're freaking out. They want to come home.
Yeah. And
that's happened.
I was going to say, I understand that. I've been that kid, and
Yep.
I've had kids who have.
Exactly.
I've received the phone calls like, yeah, you know what, it's time, to
totally normal.
Pick your daughter up or whatever. And so, yeah, I get that. And but the request from the mom,
yeah,
that's an interesting one.
I understand why you're kind of taken aback by that.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I know you said you're considering it, but you're like, I don't know. If you're considering it, then why not? YOLO. Just say, okay, fine. You get the guest room.
Maybe she might be a new bestie.
You'll
get a chance to spend some time with a new mom. Now, that said, that's probably not what you were banking on. Spending your evening doing, getting to know and entertaining another mom that you don't know.
Is it fair to say, well, maybe I don't think you staying here is going to be the best idea, but maybe you can be over here until it's time to go to bed, and then you can just go on.
Out.
Yeah, and then come back in the morning whenever. I don't know.
Come
maybe
over and tuck them in.
Maybe that's a suggestion, but this is new territory for me. I don't know. Have you done this? Like, is this something that has happened to you?
Well, Heather says nope. That sounds creepy. Can we say helicopter mom? True.
502-795-1997. Look, we don't know the reasons for the mom wanting to stay also. I don't know if others have taken her up on it, and she's just like, well, every time so-and-so stayed the night, I've just stayed there too. So it's not that big of a deal.
I think if you're really close with the other mom, maybe that's not as weird, but you're strangers at this point. That makes it weird.
Yeah, a little bit, and maybe it's like, hey, let's kick this down the road a little bit and get to know each other a little bit more before.
Nicole is texting, cue axe murderer. She's going to wake up with a lady standing at the foot of her bed. Nope, people are nuts.
Oh my gosh, that would be why. Listen, y'all watch too many of those
misery movies,
crime movies. Yeah, exactly.
All
right, would love to hear your take, especially if you've had one of those weird sort of requests from a sleepover parent or something like that. 502-795-1997. Request was made by Jenny's son's classmate who's in 4th grade. So Jenny's son asked if one of his classmates could spend the night.
And the mom's like, sure, can I come too?
Yeah. And she's like, I've never heard of this before. I'm considering it because my son, and he get along really well. So
wants to hang with his buddy, but I don't know this woman.
Yeah, don't know this woman. Don't necessarily know how to approach this. This is one of those things where it's like there are no rule books for having kids.
No, that's a new one. I feel like that's a new one for a lot of us. Like I've never. No. Now that said, I was trying to think of all the sleepovers and did I know the moms really well? Not all of them, I didn't really know them all super well. You kind of know of
Yeah,
them. You've had interactions with them before, like class parties and stuff.
Right. And I know that, at some point you just kind of have to be trusting that, these are classmates and friends' moms, and the people that your kid hangs around with are good people and stuff like that. And go ahead and do that. And I remember there was a request made for a birthday party that was 2 hours away, and it was like a weekend overnight trip.
Oh, wow.
And my daughter was invited, and it was like a thing where, we didn't really know the family, and it was like, all right. And we ended up
feels far.
Yeah, we ended up letting her go, and she had a great time, and it was fantastic, and there was no qualms about it. And
she didn't freak out and want to come home in the middle of the night?
Nope.
That's good. That would be the one concern is like, hey, don't have regrets at like 11 o'clock and say, Dad, I want to come home.
Right. That's a little bit far to do that.
Yeah.
Now, Brooke, what's your take on this?
So I'm curious if the other mom is in a bad relationship that maybe is scared to stay home by herself. Maybe the significant other is abusive when the kid isn't around. I've been there, done it. So I thought maybe it's not so weird on that direction if she's scared to stay home alone and thought, okay, I'll just go with my child.
Oh, wow. We didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, different angle.
Well, Brooke, are you in a better spot now?
I am in a much better spot.
Okay,
right.
Good.
Well, that's
glad
good
to hear.
But then, if that is the case, what do you say if you're Jenny? If you're the kid's mom?
Well, I guess can you ask that question? No, I mean how do you find that out?
Maybe through your child. Ask about the friends. Just ask your kid, how's so and so. What's his daddy do? And without coming out and asking, is his daddy mean? Asking what's his daddy do, and does his mommy and daddy, do they live in town or do they live in the country? Different questions that. Eventually, kids say it all. So eventually, there will be some words there that make you think,
okay,
might not be a safe place,
All right, Brooke. Well, I appreciate the phone call. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Justin said, I would flip it on her and say me and my son will come stay at your house instead. Then she has to entertain me for the night.
Yeah, but what if she calls your bluff and says, yeah, all right, come on. And then you're like, oh, now I've got to go to someone's house that I don't want to go to. Right. That could backfire right in your face.
Well, the other mom did give her an out and say, if you're not comfortable, I could just come pick him up at 8 o'clock. And why don't you just go with that?
Yeah,
I would say let's have some just play dates first before we dip our toe into the sleepover circle, especially if mom's going to want to come stay too. Yes. Yeah. So why don't they get together and play for a while, a couple of times, and then go home and sleep in your own bed?
Yeah, because maybe that is the catalyst. You do that a few times, and then the mom gets comfortable with her son staying over at your place,
and then she won't need to come.
And then, yeah, exactly. So
she'll feel more comfortable.
Maybe it's all about just establishing that trust and comfort for the other mom.
Yeah, and if the other mom has any concerns or requirements, like, hey, don't let him stay up till 3 a.m.
It's a sleepover. Come on now.
Oh no! Listen. 3 o'clock in the morning, though, you pay the price the next couple of days.
No, I'm saying you can't force your kids to go to sleep.
Oh no, I do. Oh yeah, I shut down. Sleepovers. Like if it's going way past midnight, I'm like, all right, let's shut it down. Shut it down. Especially because the spare bedroom they like to sleep in is directly beneath us.
If
they're still screaming, I'm like, nope.
The worst thing I remember for me is when I would have a sleepover, or I would go to a sleepover when I was, in grade school, to a friend's house.
The mom would ruin it.
And I would wake up before everyone else.
Oh, yeah, it's the worst.
And I would just sit there twiddling my thumbs or laying in bed with my eyes open and going, okay, what do I do? I'm not comfortable in this house enough to just go downstairs
walk around, get
and
a snack,
turn on the TV, get some breakfast for myself or whatever,
Yep.
And I just kind of wait there, and I'd wait and I'd wait and I'd wait until I hear the others, start to wake up and stuff like that. And it was just I was always the kid that would wake up first. So
yep.
It was, that was always the worst. So anyways.
we have play dates first.
Yeah.
Just some play dates. We don't need a sleepover just yet.
All right.
And then when she's more comfortable, when not being able to say, then that's when we do it.
All right, good chat. All right, that is group therapy. Keep us posted, and good luck with that, Jenny.